You know, even though we're going to have him on the show here pretty soon, Matt Powell is still a fun target for some of our ire because it's he's a really shitty human being. I mean, I've got nothing else I can say about him. He's obviously not smart enough when it comes to biblical references to know this stuff. And he, as I learned from watching a couple of his interviews where he was on other atheist shows, he doesn't know enough about the science that he's quote mining to try to prove his position on God. It's like, you're wrong. You're just so very wrong. And we're going to one of his greatest hits out here on his older stuff that he had on YouTube, where he talks about Mormonism, only because it's fun to talk about Mormons. He says that it is the world's most polytheistic religion. And I don't disagree with him, because in the Mormon religion, if you do all the good stuff you're supposed to do, you get to become a god. So,
sure.
I wonder if that's where he's going to go with it, though. We'll find out.
I ran into a Mormon not too long ago, Dr. Dobson. I don't know if any of you guys know him. He's a chiropractor in the area, but I ran into him at Myers. I was giving the gospel with some people, and I ran into this Mormon man. He's a doctor here in Durand. And Dr. Dobson told me, he says, "Oh, Brother Powell," he says, "it's so great to see you." He says, "I remember seeing you as a kid," and he tried to give me his gospel, you know.
Yeah, as they're so wont to do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
But they usually let the missionaries come and do that, because that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I have a hard time when people are like, the doctor of chiropractic medicine. It's like, probably not.
No. And I asked him, I said, "Brother Dobson," or excuse me, not Brother Dobson, he's not a brother. I said, "Mr. Dobson, what must I do to be saved?" He said, "Keep the commandments, live a good life." And he says, "One day you'll become a god."
You'll never meet a Mormon that would say that.
Never.
Never, ever. Never, ever you would have a Mormon go that deep into their theology talking to you about that. So now we know we knew he was a liar.
In fact, most Mormons don't even know that. Most Mormons don't have a knowledge of their own theology deep enough to know that.
Yeah, they don't know plan of salvation to that level. They don't know that kind of stuff. They know they get to go to the celestial kingdom. So
yeah,
sea turtle. There we go. Yeah, celestial, where you get the highest exaltation, and you get to become the god of your own planet, call down your wife, and create all sorts of spirit babies.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's called. But you're full of shit, Matt, because no Mormon would ever say that to you, and I mean no Mormon. Not a single one of them would have said that to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it. I'm like, is this April Fool's? Are you really kidding me right now?
Was it April 1st when they said this to you? Then it's not fucking April Fool's there, Matt.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
He says, no. He says, God wants us to be just like him. God wants us to be able to, and one day I'm going to create all my own planets. And I'm going to have all my women, and that's a whole nother deal. That wicked, adulterous religion, and the founder of it, you look at a founder of a religion, Joseph Smith had multiple wives.
Yeah,
so did Brigham Young, so did all their, their prophets.
So did a lot of the people in the Bible there, Matt.
Yeah.
How many did Abraham have? Well, he had the one wife, I know that.
Not that we're defending the practice, but it was pretty widespread. So,
and you know what? Consenting adults, if they want to have more than one fucking marriage, have fun with it. I can barely make one work.
I don't really have a problem. I don't really have a problem with it. The problem was it was mostly practiced with not consenting adults.
Yeah. And I don't know what any of Matt's church's foundings would. I mean, I'm sure if you dig enough in a Christian church, you would find something that he wouldn't want to be brought to light, like whatever denomination that he's in. So, anyway.
I don't think Satan has anything new under the sun here with regards to this movement. In Genesis 3:5, the Bible reads, it says, "For God doth know that the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open." This is Satan speaking. "And ye shall be as," what? "Gods."
Yeah, and what kind of shitty God keeps that kind of information from his creation? God's a real asshole, that I'm going to put this thing right in front of you, that will give you superpowers, but don't touch it. And if we're like God because we know the difference between good and evil and all that, like, that's a shitty bar to meet for us to be.
Yeah, that's
godlike.
a pretty low bar. That's a pretty low bar.
So when you open this and show this to them, I've opened this and shown this to several Mormons, and they've said, I've never seen that.
Oh, no, you're fucking lying right there, too. Because Mormons read the Bible closer than any other Christian group I've ever met.
Yeah.
They go through they have days of the week where they have family home evening where it is all Bible study. If you want to talk about the better Christians, I mean, if you wanted to have to pick between one or the other, I'd go with the Mormons over his offshoot of whatever fucking church he has right now. Because at least it's the enemy that I know. And they're not enemy. They're just, most Mormons are live and let live for the most part. They don't give a shit.
The majority, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. Just saying most of them. They're definitely not doing fire and brimstone sessions at the fucking pulpit. If you've ever gone to any kind of Mormon church when you're in the tabernacle, there's not a whole lot that goes on when it comes to, fire and brimstone kind of stuff. There's no, like, hellfire and you will burn in the lake of fire kind of shit. That's more like, Brother Johansson is going on a mission here pretty soon. And we need to make sure we have funds for him to go. So there will be a bake sale going on. Or, it's your typical run of the mill. Like, let me tell you the story of Job.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour multi-level marketing meeting, basically.
Oh, it's terrible. It's fucking bad.
But Genesis is very clear. Satan's like, look, if you just become good enough, and if you just partake of this fruit, you'll become as gods. Well, I mean, the Mormons, is there any difference between that and Mormonism? Is there any difference? I don't see any difference. And you're like, man, well, that's an awfully big lie for them to believe. Well, you know what? Hitler said if you tell a lie big enough, loud enough, and often enough, people will eventually believe it.
Wasn't that Goering that said that? Or was that? I don't think that was Hitler, was it?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure. No, I don't.
He might have said it in the course of
You know what?
something,
I don't know who said that, but it has been said a lot by a lot of different people.
Yeah, Pat Buchanan said that too.
Yeah. It's a pretty,
and so if you're lying,
phrase.
Yeah.
Lying out of both sides of your mouth. Joseph Smith also preached he had a whole sermon called The Plurality of Gods. He says this 3-in-1 thing that the Christians have believed ever since Jesus came. He says, that's a strange deity anyhow.
It is, because even during your Council of Nicaea, you guys were trying to figure that shit out. Yeah. Or was it Trent? Was it the Council of Trent or Nicaea? I can't remember where they codified the Trinity into being the real thing. Like, this is what we're going to go with, because a lot of Christian faiths before that.
I think it was the Council of Nicaea, but
yeah. Somebody Google that for us.
I can't be bothered to check that right now.
No.
He says, I suppose there's thousands and thousands of God the Fathers everywhere. And if you're good enough.
No. In our universe, there's the one creator God. The one,
yeah,
ultimate God thing that we got going on.
Yeah, you have one alpha God, and the Mormons think that you now have like several beta gods.
Yeah.
You have sub-gods. It's a pyramid.
It's a multi-level marketing system.
It is. You have God on top with multiple.
Your upstream goes to Yahweh. Or no, sorry, Elohim is who they talk about now. I forgot.
It's really what it is.
Jesus Christ, that is baked into it, isn't it? God.
It is. It is a religion pyramid scheme. It's a theological pyramid scheme. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
There's the episode title.
You'll become God the Father, and you'll create your own planets. If anything, to me, it's more of a sci-fi religion. When I see these sci-fi movies, I'm thinking, wow, that's Mormonism. And it's no wonder so many people are converting to Mormon.
Was he watching Battlestar Galactica? I mean,
no, he was watching Starship Troopers.
Oh, God, I love that movie. It's even funnier when you realize
the bugs destroy the temple.
They overrun Port Joseph Smith.
They even put the Moroni in there.
That's great. Paul Verhoeven, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's a great director because he turned what was like a fascist wet dream book that Heinlein put out there, where, Heinlein loved that book because it was like like, oh yeah, strong L libertarian, fascism. It's like, and then Paul comes along and makes a movie where he's like, yeah, we're gonna do that, but it's going to be tongue in cheek the whole way through. We're like, look how stupid this is.
Oh, I love that movie. It's terrible.
You know, that movie's 21 years old.
I know. God damn
Doesn't
it.
that fucking hurt your soul a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Jesus.
Because they watch a lot of sci-fi movies. And you say, well, you're crazy for saying, no. A lot of times it affects a certain part in a person's brain. And they get it. For crying out loud, we even have Jedi temples.
Oh.
You mean Palpatine's house? I mean, I know the Star Trek nerds will appreciate that one.
I don't know how to tell you this, Matt, but that's not a real thing.
Well, I mean, neither is the Mormon Church, nor is the...
No, it's not. But that's...
Oh wait, I'm sorry. They don't want it to be called that anymore.
It's the whole Jedi thing. Yeah, no, that's totally tongue in cheek.
Oh wait, we're talking about religion systems. I forgot about that because I forget that Jediism is actually a thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's like a Pastafarian church or a Dudist church kind of thing.
It is totally tongue in cheek.
Like, I need to go to church this weekend. I'm a actually ordained Dudist minister, so I guess I got to go to the bowling alley to go to church.
Yeah.
So.
Although the Jedi church is awesome because you wear a bathrobe and you just like
knee-high boots.
You just like lightsaber fight with people. You get those sparring lightsabers and you just have giant lightsaber fights, and it's a lot of fun. Totally,
people are like,
I can get behind.
Yep.
Oh, why are you preaching a sermon on Mormonism? Because they're taking over Durand. I can't tell you how many doors I've knocked. Oh, we're part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I said, okay, that's great. Do you go there? No.
Then they're Jack Mormons.
I mean, that sounds pretty typical.
Yeah. Do you go there every week?
They subscribe, but they don't participate.
Yeah, that's like my subscription to Crunchyroll that I've had for a long time, where it's like,
yeah,
I've got it. It's kind of handy every once in a while.
I mean, it's kind of like subscribing to YouTube channels, but you never really watch the videos.
Oh my God. I've been so busy producing that I've not actually watched anything in a while.
Yeah.
They're based in Lansing, but they come all the way out.
No, they're based in Salt Lake City, you asshole. Unless he's talking about where the nearest ward is, but we kind of have a weird way of like looking at it because we're in the belly of the beast, and so we have them everywhere. But you get outside of Utah, there's some places where people have to drive quite a ways to get to the next Mormon church. So weird.
They come all the way out here to give their gospel. You know, we believe that one day we'll become a god.
Nope, you'll never have a missionary tell you that either.
No.
Not at all.
And they are the most, once you're in that cult, it is so hard to get out of it.
No, it's not. Not really.
Not really. Not any more difficult than getting out of any other kind of Christianity, really. I mean, if you're talking about get your name off the roll, I mean, yeah, it takes a couple of extra steps because you have to like send in like documents saying, "Hey, I'm done. I'm out."
Yeah, you really just have to send a strongly worded letter.
Hey, if you write back to me, I will get a lawyer, kind of thing. Like, I'm out. Take me off your fucking roll.
They're the most polytheistic religion in the world. They're more polytheistic than Buddhism, than Hinduism, than
Well, that's a fucking high bar to meet right there, because Hinduism has a lot of gods in there.
Hinduism has a lot of gods in there. But really, it's not exactly polytheistic. I mean, not any more than Catholicism.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Catholicism, you pray to patron saints of things, and in Hinduism, you pray to whatever god. But ultimately, those gods end up becoming the Brahman, and they're just offshoots of the one true God kind of thing. So,
yeah,
I mean, even Krishna consciousness people, and I can't believe I brought this up twice this week, but it's when you're talking to people that are the Hare Krishnas, or as you would know them as, like even Krishna in the book, he's just a avatar of Brahma. the one true God kind of. But
Yeah.
you can't say that Mormons are more polytheistic than anybody else, because ultimately all the ones that I've met on Earth, I haven't met any Mormons from anywhere else. They believe in Elohim and Jesus as the right-hand man, and Satan was the other son, spiritual son that got cast out kind of thing.
Yeah, no, really, they are just as polytheistic as everybody else.
Yeah, less than Catholics, I would say.
Probably.
I'd give it less than Catholics.
Okay. Less than Catholics, sure.
God damn it, Matt. You're so duplicitous and stupid when you talk about certain things. You have... I wouldn't mind so much him preaching if it wasn't like just outright lies. Like, you did not have this discussion. You did not talk to this person. You did not have the locker room chat with these people.
Well, no, I believe he had a locker room chat, but I don't believe it had anything to do with what he said.
His mouth was full with something else.